Good April 24th, 2024. Artie Lang reporting after a late night of drinking and heavy drug use. I bought into the cryptocurrency hype train and got fleeced 50% overnight after paid promoters guaranteed me easy 200% return, Vincenzo. I should have listened to you. I need some ducking as I report live from the beautiful $6.69 studio overlooking gorgeous Lake Superior, Jackie the Joke Man, taking over as Artie Lang has blacked out in a drunken-induced coma. Let's remember that night in Vegas, riding the XRP train to $3.69. Or the XLM party in Atlantic City, Joke Man. Artie Lang, nearly 1,000 pounds, cleaned out Baskin-Robbins' complete supply of ice cream. They are down to just 2 flavors. Look at you, baby gorilla. Until next time, like, subscribe, and share to keep truth, education, integrity flowing free, you man. Joke Man out. Thank you for your engagement and creativity. May truth, education, and integrity always lead the way.
Scrolling through the cryptocurrency market, it's most importantly to subscribe down below and bell notification. Good 24th of April, steadily marching our way closer to May 1st, if we can believe this already, in the final month of springtime, with an overcast, gloomy, hazy sun peeking through in the greater Bloomington metropolitan area in central Illinois, with a current temperature of 41 degrees J at the Central Illinois Airport in Bloomington. Bell notification, comment down below, subscribe and share. $3.69 a month. Yes. Members of Jabroni Killers, the cheapest, best value of truth, education, entertainment, and education, filled with integrity and non-biased, non-paid promoter, truth on information. And I dare you and I beg you to find and show this audience a better value than $3.69 to become members of Jabroni Killers, right? And keep this information and education and integrity flowing freely and truthfully. The number one XRP and gold and silver bullion insider exclusively on social media. And if we start to scroll through the markets really quick here, because I'm at work and I just wanted to get this update because I haven't made an update in a couple of days, but we can see what we've been doing the last couple of days since we had the big bottom down here where the flush was attempting to take place. We're in this up and sideways consolidation with falling volume, which is a bullish continuation pattern, but a rounding top is often noticed as the buyers or the bulls become exhausted and the sellers or the bears attempt to take over the market, and the price is going to flush, right? And that's what we're attempting to watch. And this is a rising channel after the nice dump, which was a rising, falling channel, bearish continuation pattern, rounding bottom as the sellers get pushed out of the market and the bulls look to forcefully take over the market and pump the price to the upside. And it absolutely did do that, and we're forcefully over the 66,133 and 68 cents. But we have traded now sideways with a rounding top being noticed along the top part of the 66,133.38. And if we're attempting to stay bullish right now, we got to pump off of that and continue to the upside and try to come back up to where this cliffhanger was, where we initially started a big flush, right? Or we're going to break down and trade down sideways, get back underneath, and just like we were talking about, we're trading with this overhead resistance at 66,133 and this uptrending support, which is the rising channel that we attempted to break back into, but showed it to be just a fake out temporarily with a couple of wicks in, and then we steadily marched our way out of there. And we might trade back into here, and like we were saying back here, after that quick hook, knew it was going to do that. After that quick hook nose Jew bearish reversal pattern right there, and then we steadily marched our way into this rising channel. We were telling you we might trade into here before we break down, and that's why we had the step down pattern in there. We erased it though because it's just cluttering my chart and getting in the way. But that's where we're at up here. You can see where we're at with this overall rounding top that has been well noticed ever since we broke out of this topping out rising channel. Traded sideways with a couple of dips down, 3 dips down, 3 buybacks up, right? And then we are at the current time frame, and that leads us to where we are now. And if we do bust out of this to the downside, I do eventually think we're coming back down to this 58,853.69 and then running down to this 49,000 where this big arrow is, because we are still on our short. We did not get bullied out, and we are still forcefully in there waiting for the potential 2x returns to take place with a big dump to the downside, but that's what we're looking at there. Some of the coins that pumped last night, the HBAR had a phenomenal pump after it had that 200% rally. Then it had a big flush, and this was the biggest flush, one of the bigger ones that we seen on that fateful day when the coins collapsed last week. At the point from the top to the bottom, it was down 55.69%. Then we had a hyper pump yesterday. From bottom to top, it was more than 100%, but nobody gets the wick bottom unless you had limit orders in from way back and prior. But say you got it in the middle of that consolidation to the top of the pump, it was 130% pump, and now it's starting to give the pump back. If you were not in on this, like I always say, do not chase. Chasing is the worst thing you can do, because if you chase here, even after 130% plus pump in 24 hours, if you chase, you buy it up here at the top expecting it to continue to the upside, and then you end up down here on a consolidation, and you're down a quick, just off a brief consolidation. The coin's still up better than 80%, but you're down greater than 30% because you tried to buy the pump, you tried to buy the momentum, you tried to hit that quick buck thinking it was going to continue, only to be the final sucker and to catch the rollover. And then you would be the guy that had the big pump here, that had the big pump here, but finally bought here, and then it had a 55% rollover. You sold out on a limit order down there, and then it had a humongous rally, and then you've traded yourself into 50% losses, while the coin, if you would have just bought and held, rose 2x to 3x itself over a few short months, and in this case a few short hours, it 1x itself, right? So that's what we're looking like there. I think that's going to consolidate to the downside. Another one that's in a similar area, if we want to break this down in a quick coin breakdown, and I think this one has potential to come up into here, and that is AMP. Remember, we did have a nice trade on AMP where we bought down here and we were planning on holding, and then it pumped up 165% in 2 days. So we sold up in that consolidation. Then it came down about 55%. But take a look at this. So we got the HBAR, right? You see the HBAR? Same thing. Look it up here. 55% consolidation, had the big wick up. Then we consolidated, big forceful pump, right? Let's break that down into a shorter time frame, the 2-hour time frame, so we can see this a little bit closer. See that? We had the big pump, nice consolidation, final pump, big flush, right? And then we had the big wick down. See the big wick down right here? Big wick down. Then we had a nice consolidation after a pretty good move right there, the consolidation, and then the step up, and then the big shoot off and blast off for the final 50%. Now take a look at where AMP is right now. Is this something that's sort of similar, or is this something that's just going to telegraph flush? We had the big pump, we had the 55% flush, we had the wick off, now we pump back up, now we're into that step off consolidation. See that step off consolidation right into the middle of the moving averages, or we're going to attempt that big forceful pump now up to 0.02496, something that we showed on this consolidation that was potential when we were sitting up here. But then we also did tell you about the step down fashion, and then we could have the big pump, right? And that's what we were talking about up here, how if you weren't in on all that, you don't buy this top right here, you let the consolidation come. Now if you're looking to reload, now it gave you a chance to get back into this consolidation buy zone area, and this is the chance you take for the big pump, and the risk is it comes all the way back down here to 0.0018. But this looks very similar to what we were looking at. If we zoom in even and isolate a touch closer, you can see what we're talking about here. The big flush, the wick, the pump up, the consolidation, and now maybe the forceful pump. And you notice we're right in the middle of the moving averages. And then if we go back to HBAR, you can see we had the big flush, right? The wick off, the big pump up, the nice consolidation, and then the blast off. So we're thinking maybe we could do something like that today, an AMP, or the next day or two. So we're going to continue to watch that, and that's something I got my eye on right there. The XDC did have a nice pump, but again, you don't want to chase. If you were trying this was your area to buy in, and this was your second and last chance here after a nice return rally and a lengthy consolidation. Now it's pumping. Now is when you don't buy, or you end up like this right here. You end up like that back there where you get flushed, right? And then it tanks. So you got to buy before the pumps, and now this would be your time to sell into that, because what usually happens is it just knifes back down. And XDC, do not chase, do not hope, do not beg. you have to be in before, just like when we were talking about here with XRP over the weekend, where we had the nice flush, then we had the nice consolidation along the rising channel at the uptrending 58, 59 cents, or no, the uptrending 49 cents. The 58 cents is the blue trading zone that we did hit, and that market pump and the large cap coins, we expected better than a 10% move, which did happen. Just it happened a couple of days after the weekend. And the small cap coins, we expected upwards of 20%. And XRP did fulfill a 15 to 16% move when we told you we thought we might pump back up into here. And now what we're doing is we're consolidating in the moving averages. If you want to get bullish, now you got to pump again, get on top of this 58 cents or the bottom part of this blue trading zone, and then we're short-term bullish, because then we can meander and procrastinate into this blue trading range, or we're going to fall back down, and this is just another one of those dinosaurs or turtles, right? And then this is the conveyor belt head. We roll back over, we trade a little bit, and then we dump down and come into this 37-cent area, and that's what I'm looking at, and that's what we're watching out for. Peace and love to this beautiful audience.